Hi everyone, Tawanda here. I run an integrated marketing agency, and the other day I visited a potential client that wanted to have a conversation about how we could possibly help them. And as the conversation went on, they explained to me what their challenge was, which is what I like to do, just have a basic discovery session right at the beginning of the interaction. And after that, after I knew exactly what the challenge was, I was then able to put forward my thoughts around how possibly we could help them as a business to deal with those challenges. The second question that I was asked by the client, and this was almost like fireside fire shot real quick, was how much is this going to cost me? And a lot of you, I believe, have come across this. Even before you fully expound what your solution is, what your potential solution is, the client quickly asks, and sometimes they ask right out of the gates, they're asking you how much is it going to cost. Now, my advice to you is very simple. What I like to do is explore all the creative avenues of dealing with the customer's issue. How do we resolve the challenge that you have, the marketing challenge, the communication challenge, the advertising challenge that you have as a business? And then after that, I establish value in front of the customer, so the customer then realizes and sees the value that I bring to the table and how I can help them. After that, then only can we start talking about the money, because the moment you start talking money and you present a figure that is probably a way above what the client has as an allocation or a budget, what happens is it creates a mental block in the customer's mind, and the customer at that point stops to hear anything that you say. No matter how brilliant the solution you give them is, they will not listen to that, and all they're hearing is the figure. So try not to go or get pulled into the figure conversation, into the pricing conversation right out of the gates, but rather listen and understand what the challenge is, and then create value for the customer. After you create the value for the customer, and the customer actually vividly sees what this value is and how you potentially can help them resolve their problem or their challenge, then you can go into the numbers conversation. And more importantly, when you do get into the numbers conversation, try and find a way to make it possible for your solution to come to life for the customer and potentially resolve their situation. And you can only do that by agreeing terms on how they can pay you. Never ever, as an agency owner, always look to get your money up front just because you need to keep the lights on. Think solution. Let's help the customer, let's get the solution out, and then let's figure out how you're going to pay. Otherwise, you create a mental block in the customer's mind, and your pitch falls flat on its back, and you just don't get the deal altogether because the customer feels they can't afford you. It's never ever a bad thing if the customer can't afford you. Figure it out. How do you make it happen? How do you make it possible for the customer to engage you and still pay you so you can keep your lights on? But try first and foremost to keep the customer's lights on.